Welcome to Eat, Sleep, Wine, Repeat, a podcast for all you wine lovers who, if you're like me, just cannot get enough of the good stuff. I'm Janina and Eduard, your host, brand ambassador, wine educator, and sommelier. So stick with me as we dive deeper into this ever-evolving, wonderful world of wine. And wherever you are listening to this, cheers to you. Hello, wine friends. So today we are going to a region that always surprises me every time I open a bottle, and this is Alto Adige. This is a tiny region in the far north of Italy, and it is making some of the most exciting, precise, and seriously delicious wines. And somehow people are still not talking about it enough. So in this episode, we get into why Alto Adige feels so different. Is it Italy? Is it Alpine Europe? Or is it just entirely its own thing? We talk mountain vineyards, crazy altitude shifts, huge day and night temperature swings, and why all of that creates wines with freshness, energy, and unbelievable detail. We'll get into the grapes too. Pinot Grigio that will make you rethink Pinot Grigio, Sauvignon Blanc that deserves way more attention, Gewürztraminer in its spiritual home, and reds like Schiava, Lagrein, and Pinot Noir that might completely change what you expect from this region. We also talk about the culture, the cooperatives, why quality feels so unbelievably consistent, and whether Alto Adige might actually be showing us where fine wine is heading. And joining me for all of this is my guest, Eduard Bernhard, director of Alto Adige Wines. And by the end of the episode, you'll know why Alto Adige deserves to be firmly on your wine travel and wine drinking list. Ooh, and if you like wine travel perks, if you are flying from London to Bolzano with Sky Alps, they are letting you bring back 6 bottles of wine that you buy from the winery, put it in the hold free of charge. But for now, seek out a bottle from Alto Adige because genuinely, after we finished recording, I started opening these wines over the next couple of days and especially drinking them with food. And wow, I was so blown away. Genuinely, it's this elegance, it's the minerality, the complexity, the freshness. But more than anything, there's something like it's magical when you cannot put your finger on it. So pour yourself that glass, press play, and come and discover a region that absolutely deserves a place on your go-to list. Eduard, I feel like we need to start this episode with you explaining Alto Adige to someone who has never been there, because this is a real coming together of, I don't know, Mediterranean, Italy, Alpine Europe. I mean, what is Alto Adige?
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure to explain my region. So I grew up in Alto Adige. I am from this region. So what is Alto Adige? Yeah, Alto Adige is a border area. So on the border of Italy and Austria and Switzerland. So it's a melting pot between south and north. And so it's a mixture of cultures. So we have the Italian identity, but we have also the Austrian-Hungarian identity. So people grow up or in a German or in an Italian family or in a mixed identity, and so actually we grow up bilingual on the south side of the Alps. So we have these influences from culture, but also from cuisine, but also from our education. We have actually this huge opportunity to grow up in this amazing area. In this great landscape. Alto Adige, or part of Alto Adige, are also UNESCO World Heritage, so the Dolomites, the very famous Dolomites. And of course, Alto Adige is a very great region, and in this amazing landscape, we can produce also very good and great wines. And I think that's the reason we are here today, to speak a little bit also about the wine coming from Alto Adige, Südtirol, our region.
I think we will talk a little bit about the wines of this region. But you've just touched on a very interesting point. You've just called the region Südtirol. Südtirol. And I think that is slightly confusing to people. And this is all based on the German-speaking, Italian-speaking, isn't it? Because Alto Adige and Südtirol are the exact same region. It's the same thing, just said with a basically different language. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. So, because it's interesting as well, when you look at the wine bottles, some producers are putting Alto Adige and some producers are putting Südtirol. So effectively, for everyone listening, regardless, we are talking about the same region.
Yeah, so it's based on the DOC regulation, and as we said before, the region is bilingual, and so you can use both names. We have the same situation, for example, for a variety, which is an indigenous one, the Schiava or Fornace, and so we have the Schiava it's the Italian name, and Fornace is the German one. Also, this could be a little bit confusing, but the wine is great.
Well, do you know what? I just feel like, everybody, I promise you, we are going to dive all over the place, but you are going to learn so much about this region. Can we talk about Schiava? Because this is an indigenous grape variety. I get quite excited about this one because I think a lot of people are looking for lighter-bodied reds, chillable reds. We're going into the summer. So, talk to me about this variety. And whilst you do, I might have a sip on a wine that has that grape variety, and we might talk about it in a second. So, go ahead.
Okay.
So, tell me, what if somebody has never had Schiava or Fornace?
I think this is a very, very modern wine. I have also a book here, which is called St. Magdalena, which is actually a subzone for this variety in the city of Bolzano. I'm located now in this moment in the city center of Bolzano, and this Schiava, this Santa Magdalena, what you are having now, is produced in the subzone of Santa Magdalena. And yeah, you said it already. I think the Schiava, the Santa Magdalena, is a very modern wine. So we say it's for us, it's 7-day, 24 hours wine. It's great in wine and food pairing. It's the perfect match with so many different dishes. And as you said, you can have this wine also for aperitivo. So here in Alto Adige, it's very common to have aperitivo. And if you have the Schiava chilled, it's perfect. And it's lighter, it's fresh, it's very elegant, and yeah, I love it.
So a lot of the time people will actually say you're going to get lots of red fruits, and they describe the grape variety as maybe having this bubblegum, cotton candy note. But I don't think it's got this ripeness, beautiful perfume and sweetness of red fruits. I think that's more just in case anyone gets maybe scared that they think they're actually going to smell or taste cotton candy, but also it's so attractive.
Yeah, I think it's very accessible, and it's a wine you can have a lot of pleasure to having it. And I think it's this freshness and the great aroma and the balance, which will make this a great glass of wine, and probably not only one, probably also two.
And sometimes we just need that second glass to take off the edge. But the interesting thing is, you just talked about one of the subzones. So this subzone, so the bottle that I'm drinking is from St. Magdalena, one of the subzones. And this is a place which really focuses on Schiava, the grape variety, right? But this specific bottle has 5% Lagrein in it. And I believe this sub-region, if they are making this wine, a St. Magdalena, it can actually have up to 15% Lagrein.
This is correct.
Right.
Yeah, this is correct. And this is very common for the area of Santa Magdalena, but also for the area of Lago di Caldaro. This is the second very important area where the Schiava is cultivated. And based on our DOC regulation, it is allowed to have a maximum of 50% of other red varieties. But in the Santa Magdalena, there is very normal to have Lagrein. So these two grape varieties are cultivated together, and normally harvested together. And this brings us to the second indigenous variety. So we said the first one is Schiava or Fornace, and the second one is Lagrein.
Which is very different from Schiava because, first of all, the wine that I was just drinking, even though the Lagrein obviously is giving a slightly darker, slightly spicier edge than what I would normally expect from 100% Schiava, it's still beautiful strawberries. It has that lovely sweetness of fruit, lovely perfume, and gorgeously silky soft tannins. That this wine that I'm now tasting, which is 100% Lagrein, it is a much more intense, dark fruited, and even in the glass, I'm looking at the two, and we've gone from this lovely light ruby red to like a deeper ruby purple, really intense. So talk to me about Lagrein.
Yeah, these are two different varieties, as you already described it. Lagrein is also, as we said, an indigenous variety. It's cultivated in Alto Adige, especially also around the area of Bolzano. We have since 2024 also a new system regarding zonation. So we have 86 zones. And for example, also for the Lagrein, we have zones in Bolzano. They are called, for example, Grias. And then are other areas where also this variety is permitted to cultivate in the zone, in the zonation system. Yeah, Lagrein is cultivated around 9% of the total area. So it's very close to Schiava. Schiava is around 8% of the total production. And I think the Lagrein is a perfect wine for wine and food pairing, and especially if it comes to meat dishes. This is the perfect wine, yeah, for this pairing, and I think it's a great wine for wintertime.
Definitely, because the tannins are bolder. There's like a tobacco, slightly smoky,
Chocolate.
or like bitter, dark chocolate note, but then lovely violets in it as well. This has real. I can see how this would go with some really nice rustic casserole dishes or meat dishes, as you mentioned. And there is this lovely spiciness to it as well. So yes, you have. I mean, mix and match, everyone. But you got your Schiava for your summer, your really hot days, and you've got Lagrein for the slightly cooler winter days when you need a hug, right?
Yeah, and it's also, I think this variety has also a great aging potential, so you can put this bottle in your cellar and wait a few years, and the wine will even become better.
I mean, this is stunning. I have to say, for everybody, first of all, it's just nice so you guys know what I'm drinking, so you can go and find a bottle. The St. Magdalena, which is mainly Schiava with 5% Lagrein. You are going to do me a favor, please, Eduard, and pronounce the winery name.
Pfannenstielhof.
Yeah, sorry, everyone. It starts with a P and an F. But you know what the main thing is? Just look for St. Magdalena and give this a go. So this is a very, very small boutique winery, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So tiny winery. This is not available in the UK, but it's about €18, €19. I've looked online if anybody is heading to Alto Adige. And then, wow, you can definitely find the Lagrein wine around the world, because this is Elena Walch. And she has, would you say that she really has helped contribute to put Alto Adige on the map? Because for me, I find,
of course,
I find her synonymous.
She did a great job. She's one of our pioneers. She was one of the first women in wine business, in wine industry in Italy, not only in Alto Adige. And now the winery is run by Carolina and Julia, and they are doing also an amazing job and great wines. Ambassadors so each bottle of wine is an ambassador of our region.
Oh, totally. Wonderful. So, I mean, I always adore Alto Adige wines, and I always find that no matter what, even like with this Lagrein, there's a real freshness. So perhaps we pause on the grape varieties, because there's so many to talk about, and just talk about this very small region again, in terms of why do the wines have such precision, tension, and actually consistency, freshness? Is it the Alpine terroir and the climate and the diurnal range between day and night? Well, what do you think is keeping these wines so precise?
Yeah, I think it's the fact that we are surrounded and influenced by this mountain, so the Alps, the Dolomites, and so in our region we have a huge, as you said, temperature difference from day to night. So it's cooler in the nighttime. The winds from the mountains are coming down to the vineyards, and this is definitely helping to maintain the freshness in the wines. And this is we are in a mountain area, so everything is grown at steep slopes. The whole work is done manually, from pruning to harvesting. So it's a huge attention for quality, and all these things together are helping to produce these wines you have in your glass now.
And also, am I right that Lake Garda, even though it's not, people would not say it's right next door, I think it's at least...
It's very close.
Oh, is it closer? Okay.
It's 1 hour's drive by car, but I mean, that's really not so far. But we have this, in the afternoon, we have this winds from this area. So this wind is called ora, and ora means hour. And this wind is coming always at the same time. So in the afternoon, between 2 and 3 o'clock, you can feel the wind coming from south. Mm-hmm. And this is important for a wine growing region. And so you have a lot of air circulation, and this will help to prevent different illnesses like mildew or peronospora.
Because it's interesting, you've talked about the wind influence coming down the mountains. Now you're talking about wind coming from Lake Garda. Because also, though, there's a lot of sunshine in this region, right? It's about 300 days of sunshine. So you've got the ability for grapes to really ripen at the same time.
Yeah, that's very true. So, for example, Bolzano is the warmest or the second warmest city in Italy. And this is somehow weird. Yeah, we are in the north, but it's still so hot. And the reason is Bolzano is surrounded from this porphyr stone.
Yes.
This red quartz porphyr stone. And it's called somehow surrounded by an amphitheater. And if the sun is coming, these porphyric mountains, they warm up and they are releasing the heat during night and the whole day. And that's the reason that Bolzano is even warmer than Napoli, for example.
That is absolutely crazy. Well, you've just touched also on this soil, porphyric soil. It's like it comes from volcanic or
volcanic.
Like a red soil.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's obviously primarily, I think, like you said, in Bolzano, but when I was reading up Alto Adige, there's and please tell me if I'm wrong, 120 odd different soil types. Like, this is a area that has so much in terms of terroir, being able to influence grapes and grape growing based on where they are, right?
Yeah, this is something for me it's so it's so incredible, and it's so important to speak about it, because all these grapes, all these wines we produce, they are rooted in this terroir, in this geology, and you can feel it, you can taste it, you can smell it, and we have an incredible complexity in such a small area. So we have this volcanic porphyric geology, which goes back to Pangea, which is around 360 million years ago. Then we have the Dolomites. They are younger, around 270 million years ago. But then we have also, we can say, very new geology situation, and these are the morenic terroirs, and they are going back to the last glacier time, which is 20,000 years
that
old.
is new, actually.
It's new. and all this in such a few meters. even not even kilometers. And then it's also very complex because Alto Adige is in the middle of the Adriatic Sea, this is the place where the Africanic and the European plate comes together, and the Alps started to grow. And so you can understand why this is so complex, but not only complex, it's diverse, and this diversity makes it so stunning and so interesting.
Mm-hmm. And then not only does it look unbelievably beautiful, but you have that ability to grow so many different vibrant floral aromatic whites, and then these richer, more robust reds. And of course, I guess that's also the altitude, because you're going to be planting the reds at lower altitude and then the whites at slightly higher altitude. What would the typical altitudes of plantings be from lowest to highest?
That's very, very correct. So it's also about diversity, not only regarding the geology, but also the altitude, but also the different areas. So the Val Venosta or the Valle Sarco is different from the area from Bolzano or from Alto Adige. And so to understand Alto Adige, you have to come to the region. By the way, you can fly directly from London with Sky Alps, which is a local company. But to answer your question, it's important to understand all these different things, how they do influence, and how do they probably collaborate is not the right word, but how do they match with the right variety. So put the right variety in the right place, in the right vineyard, in the right terroir. So you have to understand the area to take the best decision to create the best wines.
Well, see, now quite clearly you have them. And to make it simple for people going, but hang on a minute, what should I try? Where should I go? Well, actually, I feel like doesn't really matter. Alto Adige has one of the highest proportions of DOC classified wines in Italy relative to its size. I think, is it 96% DOC?
Yeah, that's true. You are right. 96,
right.
yeah.
This is why, for everyone listening, is this such an important statistic?
Yeah. And we are very small, only less than 1% of the Italian production.
So this just goes to show, from my perspective, the level of quality of wines coming out of this tiny little region. And, well, again, I'm just going to say something else and tell me if I am wrong. Don't you also have the most Michelin-star restaurants relative to the people that live in the region?
Yeah, this is true. We have a huge amount of Michelin restaurants from 1 to 3 star, and even the green one.
What's a green one? What's a green star?
The green star is for sustainability. So chefs, they work sustainable, they get the green star, if I'm right. And there are some that have. So if they work with local ingredients, or for example, Norbert Niederkofler, which is very famous. He's the 3 Michelin star chef, and he has also the green one. But there are many other ones, like Terra, for example. He has 2 stars, and there are a lot of 1 star restaurant, and but this is perfect. The combination of good restaurants, good food with local ingredients, but with recipes from north to south, influenced from these both cultures, and having so many options and so great wines you can pair with.
Amazing. Honestly, if anyone is a foodie and a wino, and typically when you're into that, you're into nature and the experience of being out and about and just the hikes and the walks. But hey, listen, you know what? I'm going to get to that. Everybody listening, we're going to talk about a day or 2 or 3 in Alto Adige. Let's come back to, I guess, the regions. Now, you've talked about this being so diverse. I want to just finish off. It's a great opportunity that I have some bottles in front of me. Go back to this Elena Walch Lagrein, which is a Reserva 2022, everyone. But it says on the bottle, Vigna, and then Castel Ringberg. So Vigna, What does that mean when people see Vigna on the bottle?
Yeah, so we have here the Vigna on the bottle, and it means that these wines are produced in a certain and in a limited area, and it comes all to the idea to really understand and know where the wine has been grown and produced.
Like a single site, a very special
that's
single
correct,
site. Elena Walch happens to have 2 monopoles for everybody who's listening. And this specific Lagrein comes from one of them, Castel Ringberg. So definitely if someone sees, so you're saying Vigna, not Vigna. Sorry, everyone. Ignore me.
Vigna.
There we go.
Vigna.
Vigna. Then you know it's coming from a specific site. So why not get to know that very, very unique terroir along with everything else that Alto Adige has to bring. How about we look at some of the white grape varieties? Now, I happen to have a Pinot Grigio and a Sauvignon Blanc in front of me, but they're not the only grape varieties that are famous in Alto Adige. But talk to me about Pinot Grigio, first of all, because I think we all know that Italian Pinot Grigio, and when I say that, often from a slightly different region, but Italian Pinot Grigio is seen as a very just gluggable, simple, pretty neutral, maybe green apple kind of wine. So what makes Alto Adige...
You would say easy drinking.
Easy drinking. There we go. Yes. So what makes... I'm going to have a little sip now so I can have an opinion. What makes Alto Adige Pinot Grigio different?
You should have the sip and probably you will be surprised.
What, you're going to make me work for it? You're supposed to be doing the work on this episode. Oh, dearie. Hang on a minute here.
The sound is good.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. Okay. So first of all, for me, interesting. I get a lovely texture. There's some really nice fruit concentration, still super, super fresh. So I'm still getting lovely kind of pear notes, and there's some really nice kind of green notes, but there's a stony minerality to it. But for me, it's a nice texture as well. So would you just say, I mean, is Pinot Grigio being grown at pretty high altitude here on these kind of more volcanic-y moranic soils?
Yeah. So to explain it a little bit, I would like to work together. Alto Adige is producing around 65% of white varieties. So the white wines for us are very important, and Pinot Grigio is the most cultivated one, followed by Chardonnay, Gewürztraminer. Today we don't speak about Gewürztraminer, but this is not an indigenous variety, but this a variety where the name come from our region, so from the town of Tramin, which is in the south of Alto Adige. And then, of course, we have Pinot Bianco, which is also very important for our region. And then Sauvignon, the next wine you have in front of you. And then followed by other white varieties like Sylvaner, Riesling, or, for example, Müller-Thurgau. And to answer your question, I think it's all the things we already discussed in the last minutes. It's the influence of this, if all these things like geology, like altitude, like terroir, like the region, the fact of the cultivation areas in the slopes, on the mountains. And this is helping us to create, very structured Pinot Grigios. But not only.
Do you know what? I have to say, I mentioned a few things, but my mouth is really watering. This has got really beautiful tension and lovely acidity. So it's this acidity, minerality, stony nature along with texture that I'm getting, that a lot of the time Pinot Grigio, when it's grown with higher acidity, it doesn't normally, for me, carry that texture. Or equally, when you get slightly more concentration, the fruit is maybe riper, peachier, more honeyed, and I don't get that. So I'm getting this quite precise, more greener, more mineral, but then high acid style of Pinot Grigio. So it's really, really beautiful. I've gone back a few times. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, the glass is almost empty.
Stop it. Okay, look, you behave yourself. People can't see this part. You don't need to be telling everyone what's happening behind the scenes here. I've had one sip. Don't listen to him. He's a liar. Anyway, moving on. So this Pinot Grigio is actually from a cooperative, isn't it? So this is from Cantina Merlan, or Merlan. We were talking about this off air, weren't we? Again, are we saying it the German way or the Italian way? So Cantina Merlan. Cooperatives. This is an area that has a really high proportion of cooperatives. I think, is it like 70%? Have I just made up that figure?
Yeah, this is correct. So the co-ops, the cooperative system is very important for our region. We have 12 co-ops in Alto Adige, and they are exactly producing around 70% of the total production. And this is something I would like to underline. Everybody in our world now is speaking about sustainability, but also the fact that we in Alto Adige to cultivate wine more than 2,500 years, so we have a long history. Also, this is sustainable, doing and earning experience such a long time from generation to generation. And also the cooperative system is very, very sustainable and very social. This system allows very small producers to work together, to produce together, to vinify together, and to sell and to promote together. So it's a union of little producers. And this is one more thing I would like to underline. The average surface is less than 1 hectare by producer or by family. And this is one more reason we are so strongly connected to our fields, to our vineyards, to our farms. And if you have such a small surface, you can dedicate a lot of time and invest a lot of passion and handwork to produce what we can enjoy with our family and with our friends in our glasses during a nice aperitivo or during a relaxed lunch or dinner.
Beautiful. I mean, collaboration, generally they say, oh gosh, I'm going to go down some mental health route. But the things that make people happiest, no matter what they say, it's always about being with people. It's society, it's being part of something, part of a team. So actually, I would love, nothing to do with wine right now, I'd love to see some studies of the mental health and the happiness of the people of Alto Adige, because I have a feeling that it could be higher than many other regions, simply for the fact that people are working together so much.
Yeah, this is a great thing. And I think working together, collaborate. Of course, it's always a huge challenge, but I think especially now, also in the world of social media, this is so important.
100%, honestly. And if they can make beautiful wines like this, it quite clearly is working. Now, everyone, I made a mistake. So the wine I'm about to try now, the Sauvignon Blanc, is actually from Cantina Merlan. The Pinot Grigio that I just had, they're both cooperatives. So I haven't ruined the story, everyone. They're both actually cooperatives. So the Pinot Grigio is a 2024 from Alois Lageder. Have I pronounced that correctly? Alois Lageder?
Alois Lageder, perfect. Yes, no, now it's correct.
It wasn't perfect. Lagrein. Okay, so everybody, anyone in the UK, this actual Pinot Grigio that I'm drinking, which is quite exciting, is available for about £21 by Caviste. So there you go. I've actually got you a retailer in the UK. But for everyone else, look in the region you're in or just come to Alto Adige. So that's a gorgeous Pinot Grigio. And now we get to Sauvignon Blanc from Cantina Merlan. So Sauvignon Blanc, talk to me about this, because this is a great variety that has been grown for over 100 odd years in the region. But it seems like now there's a bit of excitement, a bit of buzz. What's going on with Savvy Bee in your towns?
Yeah, I think this is one of the international varieties where a region has the chance to show the potential. This is a variety, as you said, grown in so many wine growing areas and regions. And if you would like to understand where do you stay or make a benchmark, this is the perfect variety. And I think Sauvignon Blanc, cultivated in Alto Adige, can bring really great flavors, a great deepness. And from my point of view, it's a perfect balance between the aromas, the acidity, and the minerality. But you have the glass, so you tasted it.
No, don't.
I'm without.
No, don't do that, because you're going to tell everyone I've drunk the whole glass again, aren't you? Right. Okay. So I actually have to say what's really nice about this, that this is not your typical Sauvignon Blanc. I don't know whether that is this example, you tell me, but first of all, it is not big and pungent like Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc. 2, it's not crazy herbal, super green. If anything, it has a more like dried herbs and even like a kind of that kind of garrigue, stony. So it's got minerality, but not like gunpowder flint of Puy-Formé in France. Again, I'm getting some texture, but I'm also getting real ripeness. So it does taste like Sauvignon Blanc. It's hitting all of the flavor profile, but it's not going in one direction or the other. And so tasting this blind, I'd never know where to put it.
It's very right. Your description is perfect. So it's not that green, it's not this flintstone, but probably it's the Alto Adige Sauvignon style.
There you go. I mean, again, it's not, you get all these descriptors of like super strong thiols, like blackcurrant leaf or passion fruit or cat's wee on a gooseberry bush. No, sometimes when you drink a Sauvignon Blanc from Lageder in Chile, it's really asparagus. It's really grassy. It's got peas, pea pods and stuff. No, but there's this lovely ripeness still to it.
It's not a swimming pool. It's not a swimming pool wine.
Do you mean a swimming pool wine as in super zippy? I'm wondering what you mean by what's a swimming pool wine?
Yeah, it's as you said, too much of everything.
Yeah, okay, yeah. This is definitely a wine to sit back and take a little bit more time over. Yeah, really interesting. This is my first Sauvignon Blanc from Alto Adige, actually.
Okay.
I'm very happy to say I've had many Lagrein, Schiava, Pinot Grigio, Gewürztraminer, Pinot Noir, which we should probably touch on.
We forgot to speak about Pinot Noir.
Oh, no, we didn't. It was in the back of my head. So, okay, what are we talking about now? We've touched on already 4 grape varieties that I've been lucky enough to try, but do we need to touch on Gewürztraminer? You said it's not something you're hanging your hat on as much, but it came from Tramin. So, and I've tasted stunning, superb, amazing Gewürztraminers from Alto Adige. So
that makes me happy.
Oh my God, absolutely. So
yeah.
Is this something that you feel producers are planting less?
No, I think we arrived now the right quantity.
Okay.
I love the variety, and I think this is a great wine for pairing, not only for local dishes, but especially for Asian and international dishes. Very, very great. And one thing probably I would like to say is that the wines from our region, especially the whites and also the Gewürztraminer, people that don't think or don't know, but they have great aging potential, and you can store all our whites, and of course the aromas and the flavors, they will change from primary to secondary and tertiary aromas, but this is a process, this is an evolution, and this is always great. So if you have the chance or the opportunity, try to taste a riper Gewürztraminer, and this will be, an amazing experience.
I'm so glad you talked about the aging potential of Gewürztraminer, because I was very lucky a while back to do a very specific vertical tasting with Cantina Merlan.
Okay.
Who they have beautiful, I suppose, more entry-level Gewürztraminers, but they also have the Epocale Gewürztraminer, which is not cheap, anybody, by a long mile. But this got 100 points. I can't remember who gave the wine 100 points, but they have this incredible recognition for their Gewürztraminer, and I got to try several of those, but also their whole range going back 20 years. Or any more? Maybe I'm lying. I can't quite remember. It was incredible, the evolution, and they age insanely well. And there's been so much science. I won't bore everybody right now, but let me know if you want to know more into how Gewürztraminer, with its compounds, evolves and changes, and it's fascinating. So I don't know. I think it's the region's secret weapon, but of course, it's a quite intense aromatic grape variety, so it's not for everybody, of course.
Yeah, you're very right. So the Epocale is outstanding wine, and it was the first white wine who get 100 Parker points.
I was Parker points, okay.
Yeah, in Italy, actually. So a wine from Alto Adige was the first white wine in Italy with 100 Parker points.
Ugh. There we go, everyone. Honestly, this is more proof. We didn't need the proof, but we've got more. Okay, Gewürztraminer, give it a go. Of course, the young stuff is still going to have all the rose petals, the lychee, the beautiful, intense aromatics, but it's beautiful. It's stunning. Before we go on to Pinot Noir, what about other white grape varieties? Like, do you feel that we need to talk about Kerner? Do we not?
Yes, we can speak about Kerner, but we can also speak about, just to finish the 100 Parker points. It was the
We're not ready to finish.
It was the Epocale 2009, if I'm right, and they get it in 2018. And also this or last year, the Cantina of Merlan get 100 Parker points with 92.
Okay, interesting, everyone. Okay, anyone who wants to sell a wine, I think then we've just mentioned two that would be very nice to. Well, the 1992 is probably drinking beautifully right now. Probably not to sell just drink, right? Total indulgence.
No, it was 1991. I was wrong. 1991 Pinot Bianco rarity from I think it's incredible, or?
Beautiful. Okay, there you go. 1991. Everyone grab a bottle and drink it now. Get involved.
Yeah, and then of course, as you said, Kerner, Müller-Thurgau, Silvaner, Riesling. These are also varieties. They are grown specially in the Valley Sarco, Isaac Valley. So this is a valley a little bit more higher in the direction of Austria, of Innsbruck, and there we have these Austrian German varieties. They are grown there very, very much. And then one more thing I would like to say is the Pinot Nero, Pinot Noir, Blauburgunder. And this is the most cultivated red variety in our region. And have you ever tasted one?
Of course. So I think that this savory minerality, again, the freshness and the concentration that comes from the, shall we say, Pinot Nero?
Pinot Nero?
I think is absolutely brilliant. So why does it do so well? Why you hang it? I guess you're hanging your hat on Pinot Nero, right? Rather than Schiava, Lagrein, other grape varieties. Pinot Nero is the grape variety, the red grape variety of the region.
Yes, it's the most cultivated one. And this is also, as we said before, an international variety. And if it comes to a benchmark, it's perfect to understand where the region are. And I think, Alto Adige is a very important producer of Pinot Nero in Italy. Also, this makes us proud where we have great producers. They believe in this variety, and also there it's the compounds. They work together to create even great Pinot Noir, and the variety is not so easy to cultivate.
Why? Well, Pinot Noir in general is a very fussy grape variety. It splits in your hands when you pick it, and it's obviously just seems to attract mildew and loves to just rot. But I assume, are you struggling with that in the same way that most cool climate regions are struggling.
You have to be a real expert to cultivate this variety.
Well, this is why, I mean, there are books written about Pinot Noir, Pinot Noir as the heartbreak grape for many different reasons. But I have to say, yeah, I'm just thinking about another producer that I've talked about many a time, and I used to sell their Pinot Noir as a sommelier. So, I've always been a fan of Alto Adige, and that was Alois Lageder. They do,
of course.
They do several Pinot Noirs. So again, at different price points. And I've always really supported them because they are so into that holistic approach, biodiversity,
Biodynamic.
Of course, biodynamic, the stuff that they're doing in their vineyards, and also experimentation with we talked about grape varieties. I think, okay, am I making this up? I hate when I say things and I'm not sure if I believe myself. I think they've got like Albarino.
Yeah, this is true. They
right.
It's related also to the fact that Alois Lageder understood probably 30 years back that the climate will change, and he said, I have to try, I have to understand, if we have to learn or to be prepared, if probably in the future we have to cultivate other variety to maintain the characteristic of what Alto Adige is.
Yeah. And they've done such crazy experimentations, and they're blending different vintages together. So multi-vintages, they're definitely not afraid to experiment. So I always just think from a wine geek's point of view, it's fascinating paying attention to whatever wine they bring out next. There's always something quite quirky.
Research is so important. You have to be open to try new things and to learn, and otherwise there is no development. And that's good that we have all these pioneers in Alto Adige. They started 50 years ago to create the DOC, to work on the regulations, to limit the quantity, to focus on quality. And this is, thanks to these people, we are now here where we are.
Well, I think what you've done is you've convinced us that we do really all need to come. We need to taste some of these beautiful wines, international varieties or indigenous, go and taste some incredible food and really taste the diversity, feel the culture. So as we sum up this episode, if somebody visits Alto Adige for the first time, also me, I haven't been yet. First of all, where do we want to base ourselves? Do we want to base ourselves in Bolzano? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on, it's very individual. So, of course, if you arrive with a plane, Bolzano is perfect. But so here, if you have a car or if you hire a taxi, everything is so close. So in half an hour, you are going really in all the wine growing areas of the region, more or less.
Okay.
So Bolzano is perfect, but also, for example, Caldaro is very good, or also Merano is fine, or Bressanone. But then it depends on what are you looking for. If you would like probably to dive into the enoturism and to stay directly where the wine producers is working and probably offering an apartment or rooms, or if you would like to stay in a Vinum hotel, or if you would like to stay, I don't know, in a 5-star spa, it's very individual. But I think the important thing is to say that you have many options.
Okay, good. For whatever you want to do. Is it quite common that there are agroturismos, places to stay within the vineyards? Is that growing?
It's growing and it's becoming more common. We have also a homepage where you can check out all the wine experiences, or also the agriturismo places. And this is very nice. So you can get in touch really with the producers and with the people. They work this, how is the English word, this culture land. So this, they create this agriculture, and this is something unique, and I think important to understand where our food is from and how it is produced.
Beautiful. Okay, this is the challenge for you now though. Okay, I'm turning up. I'm with you for 48 hours and you need to create me the best itinerary. What are you going to do? Where are you going to take me? Where are we going to do any other activity other than eat and drink?
Walking, we can walk through the vineyards, we can bike to the vineyards, we can, in winter time, we can go for skiing and doing wine tasting on mountain huts or wine ski safaris. There are many, many ideas.
Wine ski safaris. Oh, I don't even ski. I've skied once. I didn't fall down, so maybe I'll be all right. But that just...
We can walk.
No, listen, I'm all right. I can ski the second time. Just take me to the baby slopes. Okay, absolutely amazing. I'm going to link in the show notes where you've got that list of all the agriturismos and activities. So, in one sentence, what makes Alto Adige unforgettable?
The outstanding wines, the great quality, the landscape, and the hospitality.
Okay. Thank you so much, Eduard. Thank you for taking the time to share your passion, your love, allowing me to indulge just one sip, not full glasses, of all of these divine wines. And I'll see you for a wine and ski safari shortly.
For a 48-hour trip, and I will create the itinerary. Let me know when I'm there. Thank you for your time. It was a great pleasure talking with you, and I enjoyed it a lot. And sorry for my English, it's not perfect, but yeah, it's my third language.
Third language, I think, yeah, bravo. Thank you very much. And I would say, what's German?
Danke.
Okay, there we go. Danke. Grazie. Thank you. Okay, done.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Before you disappear, wine friends, everything we mentioned in today's episode is linked in the show notes. The wines, the wineries, Alto Adige's website, which also lists a whole load of experiences. I don't know about you, but I really need to get out there. And in fact, I keep on saying I'm going to organize a wine trip. I promise I'm finally going to make this happen. So could Alto Adige be the first one? If the idea of mountains, incredible food, unbelievable wines, and generally having someone else organize the fun part sounds good, send me an email at janina@eatsleepwinerepeat.co.uk or DM me on Instagram and just register your interest. No commitment. I'm just curious who would genuinely want to come along. And if traveling isn't your thing, let me bring wine to you. I host tastings for groups and companies. And honestly, Friday afternoons were not designed to be spent staring at spreadsheets. Now, switching gears slightly, seeing as Bordeaux 2025 entrepreneurs have recently landed, I thought it was the perfect excuse to speak to somebody who really knows Bordeaux and has been working with producers for the last many decades. Joining me is Michael Saunders, CEO of Coterie Holdings, aka Hallgarten and Leon Wheeler. But this is not another episode listing villages, grapes, classifications. If you want the full Bordeaux deep dive, head back to episode 261. This one's different. This is about perspective. What's happening when someone spends decades bringing Bordeaux into the market? How does your view change? What have the great vintages taught you? And after all of that experience, how do you actually find value? So think of it as a little behind-the-scenes look into the buyer's world and the stories, decisions, and lessons most of us never get to hear. And as always, we finish with a wine quote. I've got a quote I love for this episode. It's often attributed to Jancis Robinson, who's one of the most respected wine writers in the world and a master of wine who's basically shaped how we all talk about wine and place. And she put it very simply, wine is geography in a bottle. And honestly, that is Alto Adige. You taste it and you can almost see it. The mountains, the altitude, the light, all of it somehow ending up in the glass. Okay, I'm getting a little romantic now and poetic. So I shall stop. But if you're enjoying the podcast and you are getting value from it, please take 10 seconds to like, share the podcast, leave a review so more people can discover the podcast. As always, thank you for listening. Until next week, wine friends, cheers to you.